All I condition you transform your burnouts with the 5 alarm system so you can thrive in your life. So, thank you all for joining me today. Coming to you live. Gonna give me just one second because I do want to share this live stream. So give me 1 second. Share to my group so we can all join in. If anyone would like to join my group, there'll be an opportunity at the end where I will share that with you as well. So posting that looks good. Okay, let's get started here today. So we'll be here probably about 30 minutes. Welcome everyone. If you're joining me online, if you're joining me on Zoom here, go ahead and put in the comments in the chat where you're coming from, what kind of specialty area in nursing that you are in as well. I've been working medical oncology for about 17 years now, and we all know how much fun inpatient can be some days. So we'll go into that though in a minute. So to get the most out of our time here, right? We want to be able to kind of communicate and to share and to have this be a community. So make sure you do put, in the chat where you're from, what specialty, and then use that chat in the comments to connect with people and to communicate with others as well. My slides are not advancing. Here we go. So, take notes throughout. Any questions you have, go ahead and put those in the comments. I will answer them if and when I see them. If not, I will come back later and answer them for you as well. So with burnout, that's what we're talking about today. We might bring up some stuff that maybe triggers you a little bit. So maybe a little sensitive area as well. So hopefully that's okay if that comes up. Just be forewarned, it might happen, right? So let's start by talking about burnout. Burnout is going to be my new favorite topic, right? But burnout syndrome, it affects people who work in the helping professions, nurses, right? Anybody in the healthcare, teachers, social workers. It's a combination of exhaustion, depersonalization, and loss of efficacy or sense of personal accomplishment. So those are big words. And I know we all are feeling a lot of that right now, the exhaustion, the completely being tired all the time, right? Kind of cynical about things, don't really see our patients as people. That kind of comes up in those scenarios. So what are the causes of burnout? Just to refresh these for you guys. So the lack of recognition for a good job, right? These long, physically demanding days, right? They're just 12 hours turn into 16 hours, no lunch breaks, understaffing, and feeling like we're taking on more and more roles in our nursing career, more roles that we've got to take on with every patient that kind of comes on. These high pressure environments, right? We're feeling completely out of control in what's going on. Yes, we want to be flexible in that we're supposed to be, but sometimes it's a little tough, right? Working way too much, not enough time to relax, not enough time to socialize, not having that closeness, that support with those around us, taking on so many responsibilities, not getting enough sleep, or you're sleeping and you're not actually feeling restful in those moments either. Perfectionist and high achiever tendencies, that's 100% me, that need to be in control, really reluctant to delegate. We know that's like number one thing with nursing, right? We need to delegate where we can. And some of us, myself included, still have a hard time with that, right? So is it stress or is it burnout? Good question, right? So stress is being irritable, being kind of overreactive, being in that worried, anxious state all the time, trying to fix things, trying to run around that struggle, right? Trying to just fix everything and everyone that we can. Feeling a little edgy, maybe a little amped up, wired, and then tired, right? Insomnia, we wake up too early, our mind racing, those physical things, right? Leads to anxiety, loss of energy. Stress can easily turn into burnout. So burnout is more of that numbness, being disengaged, right? Numbing our feelings with something. We're self-medicating, being cynical, especially at work. Nursing humor, anyone, that dark humor, we're very cynical, right? That's nursing culture. Physically, mentally exhausted, right? We're having some brain fog, we're having some cognitive difficulties, excessive sleep, but we're actually not feeling like we woke up rested at all, not motivated, no hope, kind of that detachment, depression, and this leads to more of an emotional side of that. So with burnout, you will have all those signs of stress, and it kind of either slowly turns into burnout or we just don't really recognize it when it kind of gets to that point. A lot of that physical stuff that comes out too, headaches, you're having GI problems, shortness of breath. You can't recover from even just a common cold that's out there. It takes you a really long time to get kind of through that. So along with burnout, and you guys might have been hearing a little bit about this, compassion fatigue is kind of a newish kind of verbiage that's coming out. So compassion fatigue is defined as the physical and mental exhaustion and emotional withdrawal experienced by those who care for sick or traumatized people over an extended period of time. Every single person that's in healthcare, right? That's all of us. Unlike burnout, they say though, which is everyday work stresses, the compassion fatigue is really us taking on those emotional burdens of our patients. So you can see how they kind of go hand in hand, right? So they're both there for sure. So going to use burnout, but we're kind of encompassing burnout, compassion fatigue, and then moral injury in this as well. Moral injury or moral trauma has in the past been really just with soldiers in wartime, but we're now applying it to healthcare. We feel like we've been in a battle recently with the pandemic and everything that kind of came with it. So really moral injury happens because we're frustrated and we can't provide the care we're trained to or promised to give, right? So things are kind of getting in the way. We're having short supply, short staffed, hospital politics that maybe get in the way of a lot of this stuff. And we're feeling like we can't give the care that we really want to be giving, right? I'm not the nurse I want to be. This isn't the kind of nursing I want to be doing. And nurses and in healthcare, we feel like we can do it all though, right? We do try awfully hard, but this is kind of our downfall, right? A lot of us are those type A personalities, those high achievers. We believe we can keep doing it all. Burnout's not going to happen to me. We all feel the struggle right now, right? It's definitely there. So we feel maybe stuck between wanting to help others and knowing I don't have much more to give. I'm kind of coming from a negative already, and now more and more and more that's being asked of me. So burnout syndrome is a real diagnosis. 2019, it actually is a diagnosis. Compassion and fatigue, that moral trauma and injury, they're real as well, right? This is some vicious cycle. We're going round and round with stress kind of being at the core and the end result, burnout, right? So the road to burnout. So this is based on the Healing Nurse book by Jennifer Carr. She wrote this in 2006. A lot of the stuff that is pertinent in this book, she did research from 2001. 20 years later, here we are talking about burnout, right? So the road to nurse burnout. So the nurse copes with constant work overload, and see where you fit into the road here, right? Her mind body systems are over stress. She resorts to emotional coping and reactivity to deal with that stress. She experiences this low energy and a low resistance to disease, autoimmune, right, issues. She experiences that total exhaustion, detachment, and a broken spirit. And then we get to burnout. So if you're maybe not sure if you have burnout, I do have a quiz that you can do. We'll pop that into the comments. I'll put it into the chat here too. So if you are like, I just don't know if I'm quite at burnout, where I'm at in burnout, This will just give you an idea, kind of a burnout meter, if you will, where you are in there, and then we can kind of discuss that later on. So I just wanted to kind of share with you my journey kind of through everything. So the nurse copes with the constant workload. You can see my pictures here. I've been a nurse since 2005. I graduated 2006, passed the NCLEX, officially licensed 2016, and then you can see 2022. Kind of the difference in the pictures there. These are first two are my name badges, so that's always fun to kind of see um, the progression of the name badge bad pictures, right? All right, I'm gonna stop sharing here. Hi Denise, thanks for joining. Didn't realize anyone else was on with me. Just to keep going here, my story, right? So I cope with constant overload. So nursing in general, we've got overload, right? We definitely have issues there. 12-hour shifts, 12-hour back-to-back shifts. Then we throw in some night shifts in there, and then we come back after only having half a day off, and that kind of crazy schedule that kind of goes with that. Then we add life to it. A couple years ago, I started a kitchen remodel, and anyone that remodels a house, the fun of that, had things that come up with that, delays on things and things that came broken. And 6 months later, I have a tendency to overschedule, to overcommit with things, work stuff, extra committees, church stuff, taking on things. I wanted to have fun too. So in the middle of my kitchen remodel, local hockey team, the Otters, were in the playoffs. Have you ever tried to schedule when you don't know when the playoff games are? When you schedule way in advance, that added a lot of stress to my life. So even the fun things were becoming a stressor in my life, so much stress. So then my mind and body became overstressed. I always said acute on chronic stress. It's kind of where I lived for quite a while. Had work-related stress. I had an incident with a coworker that ended up causing me to have added stress. And then who remembers Snowmageddon? Yeah, right. Who was working that day when Snowmageddon happened? So I call it Snowmageddon, that Christmas day where we got 6 feet of snow. So I was working that day. It was a stressful day. We were getting emissions, looking outside. Snow stresses me out. Snow has been one of those triggers for me for quite a while. So had physical shakiness. I was so stressed out. So you can imagine the cortisol that was running through my body. Wasn't late for work the next day because I ended up staying at the hospital overnight because I didn't want to chance it. Had an incident with a coworker again that day. Actually got called into the office, got asked to step down from a committee that I was a part of. Was having stress at home, having some of the finishing touches for my kitchen that I've been waiting and waiting. There's delay after delay after delay. And this is January, finally getting things that way. My body became overwhelmed, right? Started having all these issues, couldn't lift my arm above my head. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Where'd that come from? Brain fog, I'd get out of the shower. Did I wash my hair? Huh, no idea. Drinking tons and tons and tons of fluid, right? Why am I so dizzy? Like, so much stuff to do. I don't even know where to start with things. So just kind of keep going, right? That's us in nursing, that's us in healthcare. Maybe I got a little bitter toward my patients, toward my coworkers, started emotionally eating, rewarding myself. My after work snack was always a brownie, right? I guess, yes, I rewarded myself. I made it through my shift. I get to eat a cosmic brownie. That was my go-to. Started reacting out of habits with a lot of stuff, kind of stuck in survival mode through a lot of that. Barely getting through my shifts, taking me days to recover. You know that scenario, 1 day, 2 to recover, sitting on the couch, not being able to do anything, getting home and like being so tired. I just crash on the couch and 2 hours later, I'm like, I don't know, I'm in bed, right? You could barely pick yourself up. Took me 10 weeks at one time to get over bronchitis. I ended up with some eye irritation. I kept getting these stomach bugs that kind of came around. Then I had the day where I almost passed out at work, right? I ended up leaving early, and I was the only time through this whole journey that I left work because of it. Super proud of that a couple years ago. And now I'm like, that was my body screaming at me to take a break and to stop. And I did not listen to that. So some days the brain fog, the fatigue was so bad. I like couldn't get out of the chair to even help do anything with my patients, holding onto the med cart so I didn't pass out. Getting to the point of detachment, total exhaustion with things, feeling like I was going crazy too. Like, what is wrong with me? Something is wrong. I can't figure this out. Seeing all kinds of doctors, getting bitter about the whole thing, feeling broken. I'm at burnout. That is kind of my road to burnout. My body said enough is enough that one day, and I hit my rock bottom. That's what's the thing is with burnout, and especially in healthcare. We have been in a silent pandemic for years and years. And it's me seeing the signs and me as an individual ignoring it. It's us as a nursing culture talking about, well, we all feel like we're at burnout, but we're not doing anything. We're not making those changes to kind of move things in a different direction. Jennifer Carr in her book says, at that moment, I knew the system was broken and that I had, and that it had broken me. I also knew that I couldn't fix it, right? I couldn't take it anymore. I did the only thing I could do to save myself and my family and my sanity. I discovered a better way. So that's how I felt when I hit my rock bottom, right? I was in denial for years until even recently that I was really even at burnout. So the day that actually changed everything, what did that day look like? That was when I officially got a diagnosis. When I was diagnosed, see the switches, there we go. Got my diagnosis, got with the right people in my path, pointed me in the right directions, to the right tests, to the right doctors. And I got diagnosed like really quick compared to a lot of people. I was diagnosed with a dysautonomia, the neurocardiogenic syncope, an autoimmune disorder, Sjogren's, and then recently SIBO and mold toxicity. Ended up exploring all kinds of options, decided I needed to take control over me, figure out what this looks like for me, making some changes, eating tons of vegetables, got my carrot glow going on. I found the Health Coach Institute, right? And I had a 15-minute call that kind of just changed everything for me. I made that powerful decision that day, started my coaching journey. Didn't make all the changes all at once. That's not how it works, right? We have to kind of ease into a lot of that stuff and to make the progress one day, one step at a time. I'm to the point now where this is the best I've felt, right? It's taken me several diagnoses in 5 years to get to this point, and it was all from unrecognized burnout. I really did just think it was stress. Never associated it with burnout. Yeah, that kind of lands with some of you guys. Just it's not me. That's not going to happen to me. So I share my journey with you guys so you can see how important health and well-being is, being in control over the things that I can control, right? Being able to heal myself, being able to share that with you guys and to have you learn from my experiences, right? So the silent pandemic that's been going on, we can maybe bring some noise to it, sound the alarms and get things to change. I recently have fallen back into some older patterns. I had worked out burnout in nursing. I figured that out for myself, but kind of felt like I didn't belong with you guys if I wasn't in burnout, if I wasn't having all these struggles, the same things you were going through. So I overscheduled, got back on my sleep, changed up some of those habits, falling back into the pattern. I got a little bitter. I got annoyed with things going on around me. Had to feel like I needed to people please, and some of those perfectionist tendencies came back. Started to hear those alarms though, and I recognized it so much faster and so much quicker. And I've gotten myself out of it, right? Those patterns are comfortable. Those are, those habits seem comfortable at times, but I needed to get out of that. I needed to travel on a different type of road, right? That road to burnout is well traveled. I've got that one, that well beaten path. When I get off, I just head right back on it, right? So alarms are sounding. I had to call a condition you, right? We hear alarms all the time. Sometimes we have alarm fatigue, maybe even to ourselves. We don't see things in ourselves. And that's okay, right? It's okay if we don't, but that's the first step, right? We need to bring awareness to it all. So then we can make changes and we can figure out what to do next. So the alarm systems, we're transforming burnout with the 5 alarm systems so we can thrive in our life. So I'm going to share with you a quick overview of the alarm system. What's great about systems is they save yourself some time, energy, and money, right? My journey and some of my clients' journeys have been through burnout and how we've dealt with all of this and how we're learning and transforming our life. I did the work for you and I'm bringing it all to you, right? So you can kind of see the journey and my experience, take those insights, and then make the choice for yourself. So let's look at the alarm system. So the first part of this, we're going to go through each letter here, is assessment. So we're all great at assessing things, right? We're going to look and see what's going on. Is it stress? Is it more? What are those signs and symptoms? So we're going to ask ourselves just that, right? What are my signs and symptoms of stress and burnout? What does that look like for me? And then we're going to explore the steps and solutions. I said 95% is awareness, right? Moving forward, we need to know what's going on. What does it look like? We transform the burnout. It kind of changes all aspects of our life, right? How we do one thing is how we do everything in our life. And thinking about this, what's it going to cost you if you don't make the changes right now, right? If you are at rock bottom or you're headed toward rock bottom, let's stop it. Let's prevent things from getting worse and let's recover and heal. Let's transform this burnout to a life where we can thrive and be super excited about every aspect of our life. I know what it's cost me so far to transform. Medical expenses alone pushing $15,000. Coaching, learning, we're pushing probably a good 50,000 for me to transform from unrecognized burnout. And I tell you that so you know that I'm worth the investment, right? I am 100% worth all that money to invest and to get to a point in my life where I can thrive and really enjoy life and really love life. You're worth all that too. All right, let's look at language. What are you saying to yourself? How are you saying it to yourself, right? Are you listening to that inner cheerleader? If not, let's start, right? We got to kind of flip things around here. What are you focusing on? The negative? Is it the positive? And then we want to have that positive language be everywhere, right? So we want to change things up. How are you feeling? Change up the words, the I am statements that are in the positive for that. One word really has changed my whole perspective. 95% of what we say is on a loop. And if we constantly have the negatives looping and looping and looping through our minds, there's no room for any of the positive stuff, right? It's just all negative, negative, negative. So the one word for me has been release, and I've been able to release so much. Stop for a minute and just kind of think. You can repeat after me. Oh, I'm tired. What do you feel? Do you instantly get that like, wow, I am kind of tired, and yeah, I could take a nap. Feel kind of that energy just kind of come out of you. Anytime you say I am, your body wants to feel it. She said I was tired. Okay, I gotta do everything to be tired. She said I was busy. I gotta be busy. Busy, 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 busy. Even if I could be sitting on the couch, chilling, relaxing, doing some meditation, I gotta be busy. I gotta do something. Right? Your body wants to be what you say it is. I am. So add a word, a little tip for you guys today. Add the word feel. Just add the word feel in there. I am feeling or I feel. So I am feeling tired. A little different. I am feeling busy. I am feeling overwhelmed. I am feeling burnout. I'm not burnout. I'm feeling burnout. You know what's great about when you feel something? they're emotions, and emotions are emotions, and we can change that up, we can release it, and we can make a difference in what we're really feeling and how we're looking at things. So we want to flip kind of our language around. The next step here in the system is action. Action, we get to move, right? Emotions in motion, part of it, the action part. So what practices do you want to use moving forward to help you transform your burnout? Is that practice working? So with this is the approach. So what are those practices? What does that look like for you? If it's not working or you're like not really finding enjoyment in it, change it out, right? 2 millimeter shifts. So you kind of figure out what works for you. And then we're going to transform your life. So through that, we have 3 types of kind of practices. More of a self-love kind of practice, that time to take just for you a little bit. If your day isn't maybe quite as stressful, you're not really feeling all the pressures that day, but you need a little something. You need to do something every day to show ourselves some love. Being out in nature, what is relaxing to you? Doing a little meditation, doing a couple breaths while you have a moment at lunch. Just something small compared to the other ones that you can show some love for you today. Maybe you need a self-care day where you actually do something. Spend a couple hours, half an hour at the minimum, doing something for you. It's kind of a self-love and a self-care practice. We kind of get the mental and the physical in there, right? Some movements, maybe a massage, maybe, laughing with friends, some kind of connection. And then we have a soul care day, full on, let's heal your soul, right? Let's do something for me, where you show yourself some love and you do some self-care practices. Is it a full spa day? Is it a retreat? Is it doing nothing? Is it reconnecting with relationships? Is it reconnecting with God, getting more on that spiritual, like deep soul care? This is more of kind of an overall, right? We want to do something that's going to help us mentally, physically, and spiritually. Like what grounds you in your life? When we're able to recognize the action part of this, what's working for us, then we can kind of implement it in all areas of our life, right? We want to practice relaxing when we're not at work, because it's hard to do those practices if we're not having them kind of ingrained in our whole area of our life. Just, oh, I gotta breathe. Tell me to breathe. I gotta breathe. Like how do I do that when I'm running around, trying to do all these things for all our patients? Practice it at home, and then it becomes second nature, right? We want it just to be a habit so that we are healing, we are thriving, and we are enjoying life. The fourth step here is release. So with releasing, I told you it's one of my favorite words. I feel like it's like a bird, right? We can release whatever's going on in our life. So where do you feel stuck, right? You release your old self and become brand new with things. What habits are no longer serving me? Maybe there's certain relationships that are no longer serving you, and you can release some of that as well. So with release, we're going to rise. We're going to look at our roles. We're going to look at imposter syndrome and everything that comes with that. Some of the imposter syndrome is the perfectionist tendencies, the high achiever things that come in. We're going to be able to speak up and tell people kind of who we are, right? We're going to have that confidence and stand kind of in our personal power with things, knowing that I'm enough just as I am, right? And I can release everything else that's not in alignment with that. The fifth part of the alarm system is momentum, right? We want to get things moving. So what actions are you doing daily? What is that one focus that you can have for today that will help you do everything else moving forward with things? So we're going to gain momentum. Ringline decisions. Those are those decisions that you make every day, those small little decisions that keep you going and going and going, that 1% progress. So you reach your goal, if you're successful in what you want. Accountability, right? We all need maybe a little accountability, a buddy, a coach, a partner, someone that's going to be there to kind of keep you headed in that right direction, right? We're going to implement things. We just want to do it. Get out there and do it, right? Those small hinges will swing those big doors, but you got to get out there and do something. And then a new habit. We're going to have this habit be part of your routine, right? You won't even think twice about it. It's just what you do. So all that progress, all this momentum that you get going, it does add up. It's one step at a time, one small step to move you forward with things. So recall my story. I saw the signs, I ignored the signs, right? I kind of hit rock bottom. I knew what needed to change and I didn't really want to change. It was hard, right? I don't want to get out of this comfort zone. I don't want to get out of my familiar zone. I had to change up some language. I did my research, discovered that what I wanted to do, what practices I wanted to implement into my life, those things that are making my life be so that I can thrive. Take those actions and kind of just make sure it constantly is happening, right? Every day, it's going to be me making these decisions, right? Getting up and making that decision. No one else is going to do it for me. That would be really nice though, when if we could hit an easy button and people would come in and just swoop in and save us, right? And do it all for us. No, not going to happen that way, right? I have to take the responsibility. I have to take the actions. I have the tools, right? I have the system in place. I know that it works. I've went through it myself, went through it again recently, a whole lot quicker once you know what the system is and the tools are. And recognizing, right, I can't blame anyone for sucking the life out of me when I keep handing them the straw. I really do have to take responsibility for myself. So thriving for me in my life, that is, me being aware of when things happen, knowing that I can explore solutions and I have the knowledge to get out there and to make some difference with that. Knowing too that I need to focus on being positive. That's who I want around me. That's what I want for my life. Finding joy in those simple moments. It's very, very important to me, and recognizing when I fall back into that pattern and this thinking, how what I'm focusing on, and in my mind, that narrative really does make a difference on what I'm focusing on in my life. Being able to have some self-care practices that I can fall back to on, some quick things that I know that will help restore me and get me back to this life where I'm able to have energy and to be productive and to enjoy everything that's going on around me. Releasing these roles that I've held on to for so long. I'm the shy one. I need to get to that A plus. Close enough, right? It's close enough. This is how God made me, and I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be me. That momentum, right? I have these routines for a reason. I like structure in my life. I do like a little flexibility, but structure for me keeps me focused, and I need it in at least some certain areas of my life moving forward. And I know that. So I'm going to make sure I keep that in there. For those of you who have experienced burnout, if you're with me, it's not fun, right? It's not an easy place to recover from. And it's so easy to slip back into that pattern. That road is well traveled, right? So if we can prevent and we can stop it, we now have a roadmap, right? We have a roadmap of where we can go to get around the burnout and where we can go to get to where you want to be in your life. So I'm here to be an inspiration for you guys, to show you that it can happen. And this is just my experience. These are my insights, and I'm bringing them to you. So now you can be the one to implement them and to make these choices, to start that ripple effect, right? We want to start a ripple effect of us nurses being able to take ownership of our own well-being, right? And to recognize that if I'm taken care of, oh my goodness, how many more people can I take care of when I am good? When you really think about that, if you're okay as a nurse and you're doing what's best for you and you're thriving, imagine what we can do for our patients. Think about that, right? I get kind of excited about that, right? Remember though too, right? We don't have to set ourselves on fire to keep everyone else warm, right? Actually is the opposite of that, right? We can be thriving and helping so many more people, right? If we're healing ourselves and going through this process, then we can really help everyone else heal as well. So I just wanted to share my mission with you guys. I really do want to help 50 nurses over the next year moving forward. so that we can start that ripple effect, right? I really do want us to be able to heal ourselves so we can help everyone else heal as well. So if this has been resonating with you and you're like, yeah, I definitely want to start and be part of this ripple effect, to be part of the movement moving forward with this. I have a quick little clarity call. It's just a 15-minute call where we can jump on and do just that, right? So we can see how the system maybe will work in your life, how it can be helpful for you. Maybe not sure if you have burnouts. We can discuss kind of where you are on that burnout meter, if it's stress and you're headed that way, or if you know you're in burnout, what we can do moving forward. So not sure maybe what actions you need to start with self-care practices, where to start. It can be a little overwhelming. Schedule that call. It's just a 15-minute no sales call. And we can see kind of where you are with your current situation. See if we can implement this alarm system moving forward. So I bring this to you guys because I know we are struggling. I know it's been really hard, right? We're bringing all these stressors of work home with us. We're feeling the overwhelm. We're feeling the exhaustion. We're drained. We're stuck in this crazy survival mode. And now what, right? Now, how do we get out of this? So, as I said, if you can relate to this, make this powerful, first step, right? This is you moving towards learning how to deal with all those stressors and pressures in life and in nursing, aka we want to get out of burnouts. So go ahead and click on that link. It'll be in the comments here if you would like to schedule that call. And as I said, we'll be able to figure out our next step in transferring burnout so we can thrive, determine maybe what's holding you back, and identify those actions moving forward. I would love to know what you guys have learned. If there's any questions, if you're watching the replay, do put them in the comments. I will see those and respond that way for you. But what is your key takeaway for today? Go ahead and put that in the comments as well. I'd love to see if you've learned anything new, if you're recognizing some of this stuff in yourself, and what's your plan, right? What are you going to do moving forward? As always, I love to connect with all you guys. Definitely want to support you. So the Heal Thyself community is my group, and it is the Heal Thyself community for burnout nurses and caregivers. And that's where we have all kinds of fun stuff like this that goes on, monthly, weekly things. So go ahead, and if you want to join, I will gladly guide you and support you there as well. And as I said, it is a community for all of us. You can connect to me email, you can connect on Facebook here. I am on Instagram, YouTube, and I do just recently get on LinkedIn as well. So I'm on kind of all the platforms where we can connect. Just wanted to bring to you as well, can you give yourself one shift in a 6-week period, one 12-hour shift to do some soul care, right? So it's spending 1.5 hours a week with a group of like-minded nurses who are ready to stop the burning, ready to completely transform our burnout. I have a new cohort that is starting November 7th for the 6-week Transform Your Burnout with the 5-alarm system, so you can survive, more than just survive, but thrive in your life. So if you wanted to know more, make sure you do hop on that clarity call for that as well. As I said, systems are great. They save yourself some time, energy, and money. I've done all the hard work. I've condensed it all. Everything I've learned, I will bring to you. Everything I am learning, I will continue to bring to you guys to guide you. So it's your turn, right? Let's sound the alarm on burnouts. Let's make these changes in our life and in our nursing career. No one's coming to save us, you guys. We got to start doing it ourselves, and we have to save each other one nurse at a time. So start taking care of yourself. Make some noise about this silent pandemic that's out there. And let's thrive in life. Let's have fun. I want to have fun, right? So I'm over surviving. I'm over burnout. On to thriving. So I hope you guys will join me with that, and let me just keep guiding you and supporting you where I can. So thanks for everyone that's tuned in today. If you watched the replay, give me a hashtag replay in the comments as well. I'm Ann, your well-being coach for burnout nurses. I'm guiding us exhausted nurses that want to transform your burnouts and are tired of just being in survival mode so we can thrive. I will talk to all of you soon. Thanks for joining.